If you're struggling to contact your irons correctly, maybe suffering with fat ones or thin ones, what I want you to do is get yourself on video and look and see at the angle of your upper body. If your upper body looks like this with an iron tilted away from the target, you're probably hitting your driver okay, but struggling with the irons. And I have for you the reason why. So we want to push down into our lead foot. I hope you already understand that part. So at the start of the downswing, how do we start it? We apply some downward pressure into our lead side, so into my left shoe for me. Now, if I just focus on pushing down into my lead side, my upper body actually would counteract and do the opposite. So my lower body is going in that direction. My upper body will do the opposite and tilt away from the target. Now that's fine with a driver, isn't it? Because with a drive, we've got the ball up in the air, and actually we want to be striking up on the golf ball. We'll struggle with our iron contact from that same swing. So a little difference here is what I want you to try and feel in the downswing is that your lead shoulder moves over your lead knee at the start of the downswing. So I'm at the top of my backswing. How do I start the downswing? Well, I'm still applying pressure towards my lead side, but if my focus point is my lead shoulder moving over towards my lead ankle at the start of the downswing here, that really gets my upper body more on top of the golf ball, stacked over my lower body, pressure into my lead side, and I'm much more straight on with my upper body rather than this type of position where I'm tilting away from the target. So lead shoulder over lead ankle at the start of the downswing gets that pressure to that lead side, gets me centered, and from there I can really compress my iron strikes. Let's give that a go. And then I've got for you a drill that I want you to run through. So I'm going to get to the top. Here my shoulder is quite well behind my lead ankle. So the start of the downswing move is going to be my lead shoulder moving over my lead ankle. A lot of people go, well, I'm going to move too much. But watch, I can actually keep my head pretty still when I'm making that movement. And most people are going to move a touch off the golf ball with their head. So the head does need to move back slightly. It is true, we want it about over the golf ball by the time we hit it. We don't want it to get ahead of it. So there, lead shoulder over my lead knee. That's really going to help my swing path as well. We'll jump onto that in just a second. So let me hit one feeling that. So it's really going to help you. That was sounded great. Compress the golf ball. What does compress the golf ball mean? Just that we're taking some loft off dynamically, that we're getting our hands slightly ahead of the club head. So we're taking some loft off and we're actually increasing the distance this particular club's going to go. So with a driver, as I said, the difference here is we still want that press into the lead side, but our upper body can counteract and move away from the target to help our angle of attack. Whereas with an iron, we're really looking for a slightly downward angle of attack. We want to be a little bit more over the golf ball here. So lead shoulder moving over that lead ankle. I mentioned there that it could help your swing path. So as my lead shoulder moves down this way, my arms start to fall. Too many golfers, if they keep their lead shoulder high, make this type of movement where the club starts getting too far out in front of them. They struggle, or perhaps they really get that lead shoulder high and forwards and they get the club behind them. Either way, it's not going to cause very good golf from there. So that lead shoulder moving in this direction could cause a variety of swings. We want that lead shoulder down and forwards, and that gets my arms being pulled down into that slot that we always talk about. So as a drill, as an exercise, I love popping half a tennis ball under someone's shoe. So just cut a tennis ball in half, stick that under your lead ankle or lead heel. Some setup, lift that foot, drop the ball under. Could be a dog's squeaky toy or something along those lines. And I just want you to get that sensation. You were squashing the ball, but we're getting that lead shoulder moving over that lead ankle at the start of the downswing. Now, when I create this move here, people are going to go, oh, I'm too low to the ground, I'm going to hit it heavy. But remember, if you're not new to my channel, I'll have talked about this a lot. Our movement from here is up. So we push down, and then we move up. Huge, huge power source, starting to use the ground correctly. Remember that our lowest point of our golf swing, in terms of where the handle gets to, is before we hit the golf ball. So our body is actually rising and rotating into impact, or should be at least. So let's push down, lead shoulder over lead ankle, then this push up. And that's really going to help with your quality of contact. If you find you're struggling from there, it will be that you're pushing down and not getting the upward movement. But ground force reaction, if you push down enough, we should start to push up. What we don't want to see, however, is this movement with the upper body. So we want this and then this, not this and this with the upper body, not tilting away from the target. So the tennis ball is a great drill under that ankle. You could, for a visual perspective, always get some canes on the ground, so you know, well, I'm keeping my head over this line, even though I'm getting my lead shoulder moving over my ankle at the start of the downswing. So when you're hitting balls, good idea to put a club shaft or an alignment stick down on the ground. Let me just demonstrate there the difference when we go into that driver, because I mentioned the change. So difference is, well, the ball's gone more forwards because I'm trying to hit up on the golf ball. I may even start a little bit more tilted behind it, so a little bit more angle in my shoulders. I still want that pressure to go into that lead side, but I do want to keep my upper body behind the ball. So actually that movement there is fine with a driver, but with an iron, I'm really going to struggle. So iron, we're feeling lead shoulder over that lead knee. Well, very, very happy with that one. Really felt like I created an upward angle of attack and felt like my upper body was a little bit more behind the ball, whereas with an iron, what do we want to get the sensation of? We want to be over the top of the golf ball to help us compress that ball. So there is a little difference there in terms of where our upper body would be, iron to driver. This video is really about improving the strike with your irons. As I said, pushing down is fine, but often when players are pushing down into their lead side here, their upper body is doing the opposite. So we've got to make sure the movement is this lead shoulder going over that lead ankle. I know it's going to improve your golf. Give it a go. If it does, hit the thumbs up, share it with as many golfers as you can, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content just like this.